Hello. Now we're going to try to find all the missing parts of the triangle in our level 3. So here I have two angles and one side. And so I need to find this third angle and the other two sides. Now in this triangle, since I know two angles, I can find the third angle easily because I know they all add up to 180 degrees. So 105 plus 55 will get us to 160. If I subtract from 180, this angle is going to be 20 degrees. Now, the next thing I can find is these two sides. If I know 55 and 98 are across from each other, I can start writing the equation sine of 55 over 98. Now, to find the other sides, let's say this side is x. Across from that is 105. So I'll write the sine of 105 degrees over x. Now we solve for our missing x variable. First thing I do is find the sine of 55 and the sine of 105 to get the values 0.8192 and 0.9659 over x. Now when I cross multiply 94.66, divide that by 0.8192, and 115.55 is my answer here. Now, I'll do the next part in red. I need to find AB. Let's call that Y. That's across from the 20 degrees. So I can start off my left-hand side the same way, where I'll say the sine of 55 over 98. But now, if I want to find Y, that's opposite of 20, so I'll say the sine of 20 over Y. We'll do the same math. So sine of 55, sine of 20, that gives us 0.8191 over 98 is equal to the sine of 20, which is 0.3420 over y. Cross multiply, and I have 33.51797, so 79, almost 0.80 if I round it, is 0.8191y. So now I have to divide by 0.8191 to get a value of 40.9 for my y. So I go back up here, and now I have 40. Did I say 0.9? Yep, I did. So now I have all three sides and all three angles, and that's our goal for level 3. Now I'm going to do one more problem like this. Find all of the missing sides and angles for this one. So I want to find D, F, and side DE. Now the first thing I would do is I need to find one of these angles. I'll find D. So I know 108 and 184 are across from each other. So I'll say the sine of 108 over 184 is equal to the sine of D over its opposite side of 109. So the sine of 108 gives us a value of 0.9511. Alright, so now when I multiply these, I get a value of 103.6699 is equal to 184 sine of D. Divide that by 184. I have my sine of my angle D to being a decimal, 0.5634. Now to find this angle, I have to take the inverse sine the inverse sine of 0.9, 0.5635, and to equal our angle D. So if I take the inverse sine, 0.5634, I get 34.3 degrees. And that's my angle D. Now, if I want to find angle F, I can just add that to 108 and subtract that from 180, and my calculator isn't as fast as my mouth, and I got this side to be 37.7. So now I have three angles and two sides. I just need this third side, let's call it X, and we're done with the problem. Alright, if I want to find that angle X, I'll take the sine of 37.7 over X, and to use better numbers, not rounded, I'll use 108, so I'll do the sine of 108 over 184. Now, when I find my values, I'll take the sine of 37.7 to get 0.6115 over x, sine of 108, 0.95105, so if I round it up, I'll get there. And so now 0.6115 times 184, that's 112.516. And now I'll divide that by the 0.9511, and I'll get 118.3 as my value for x. So now I'll just plug that in, 118.3, and that seems pretty reasonable. And I am finished with my triangle. All right, hopefully you're able to continue to do level 3.